Hello everybody, this is Hollywood Joe Williamson, a special presentation of Hollywood's World of Sports from Eye2Eye Design Studio. Today we are doing a UFC Spotlight on two polarizing figures. But before I begin, I have to thank my sponsors. First, KDS Sporting Goods for all your fishing tackle and accessory needs. You can find them at fishkds.com. Also, rodjerseys.com for all your fishing pole protection needs to make sure they don't get weathered against the storm. And finally, I have to thank Bonafide Tough Guy, one of the leading MMA apparel groups in the world right now. They have new designs each and every month and have sponsored a lot of independent fighters as well as some UFC fighters in the past. So I'd like to thank my sponsors for today's show. Today we are talking about two well-known names in the world of mixed martial arts and sports entertainment. We are talking about CM Punk and Ronda Rousey. One hasn't even fought yet, and the other is one of the most dominant figures to ever come into the sport of mixed martial arts. I want to start with CM Punk today. As many of you know, CM Punk was employed by World Wrestling Entertainment from 2006 to 2014. He was the longest reigning WWE champion of the modern era at 434 days. Most of you know CM Punk had a really controversial run in the WWE. He was very outspoken, not just in social media, but in the ring, backstage, on his Twitter as well. And all that came to a head in January of 2014 when he quit the WWE the night after the Royal Rumble. Fast forward about 11 months, he did a podcast with Colt Cabana talking about his problems and his grievances, everything else under the sun. Just a few short weeks later, he was at a UFC pay-per-view in December of 2014, and in front of a live audience with Joe Rogan, he announced his contract deal with the UFC. A lot of people were wondering, when's he going to fight, who is he going to train with, and how is he going to do? And the question that has already been answered about who he's training with. He is training with Team Rufus Sport out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Some of their well-known fighters are Tyrone Woodley and Anthony Pettis. Both have went on record in saying that CM Punk has a very strong work ethic and is a very good striker. And in today's world of MMA, striking is very important. Just as equally as important as a ground game. So it's good to hear that CM Punk is a natural striker. A lot of people are doubting CM Punk when it comes to his UFC experience. A lot of people are knocking on the fact that he's a professional wrestler. He is a part of the fake stuff, and that he can't cut it in the UFC. Well, I want to remind you of a few people before you make those criticisms. There are several athletes who have been successful at both MMA and professional wrestling. Two of them go way far back. And I have to start with Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock was a part of the UFC in its early days, and really got the attention of a lot of people. A few years after the UFC started, he went on to the WWE and stayed there for about 2.5 years. And in his time in WWE, he became a tag team champion, an intercontinental champion, and was the 1998 King of the Ring winner. A fellow early on member of the UFC, he is a UFC Hall of Famer, along with Ken Shamrock, would be Dan the Beast Severn. And I have had the privilege of meeting Dan Severn quite a few times and having conversations with him. But the one thing I take away from Severn is he was a UFC Ultimate Fight champion and NWA champion at the same time. He took pride in wearing both belts to the ring, and during his time in the WWE, he feuded with Shamrock, the late Owen Hart, and Steve Blackman. Fast forward into modern day, you have TNA superstar Bobby Lashley, who has been TNA World Heavyweight Champion in the past, and while maintaining that title, he has been fighting in Bellator MMA, and so far has gone undefeated. Many, including myself, think he would be a great prospect for the UFC in the future if he ever decides to leave TNA wrestling. And then last, but certainly not least, and I'll do my best Paul Heyman voice, Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar, NCAA, champion, first ever, well, I should say youngest WWE Undisputed Champion, and up until WrestleMania 31, he held the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And, those are some big accolades, but I believe his biggest accolade is the UFC Heavyweight Championship, because he defeated not only Heath Herring, but he defeated Randy Couture for the title, as well as Frank Mir and Shane Carwin. I believe Lesnar is probably the most successful individual to ever do both, professional wrestling and mixed martial arts. And I wouldn't doubt if CM Punk can follow in his footsteps. So with that being said, CM Punk should not get that much criticism just yet. People should not look into the fact that he is a WWE superstar, because as I just mentioned, 4 of those guys were WWE superstars and have been successful in the world of mixed martial arts. And so I look forward to see CM Punk's debut match. Details are unknown at this time, but I'm sure we will hear more from CM Punk and his first match in many months to come. But with that being said, the next lady needs no introduction, and her name is Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey is probably one of the hottest things going in MMA today. I have to applaud Dana White, because for so long he said that he would not use women in the UFC, and now he has, and now women have just as big a following as the men do. And I gotta run down Ronda's accomplishments, because they are so many and so great. She had an Olympic judo career, winning 2 bronze, 2 silver, 2 gold between the Olympics, World Championships, and Pan Am Games. She has won 40 medals altogether in her amateur career prior to the Olympics. She had 4 fights in Bellator and has currently had 6 fights in the UFC. She is currently undefeated and is scheduled to fight again this summer. A lot of people that are new watchers of the UFC and are viewing mixed martial arts for the first time, I just want to make clear something, that Ronda Rousey is not the first big female fighter in mixed martial arts. There are 2 other women that really paved the way for Ronda Rousey and what she is doing. I have to mention Gina Carano, whose MMA record was 12-1-1. She really pioneered females in mixed martial arts. She has went beyond mixed martial arts now and has been starring in TV shows and movies, but her most famous role so far has been alongside The Rock, Vin Diesel, and others in Fast 6, where she played the Rock's like right hand woman, and was a really I'll just be bluntly about it, was really totally a badass in the movie, and it set the stage for Ronda Rousey in the future. The other female individual that has pioneered MMA for the females, she has a little more controversy to her. Christine Cyborg Santos, who is 14-1-1. She won the Strikeforce Women's Championship from Gina Carano, and that was actually Carano's last match. And there have been many, many talks with Cyborg about coming in to fight Ronda Rousey, based on the fact that Rousey really has nobody left to fight. She's cleaned out her entire division, and needs some new faces to keep challenging her and keep pressing her to want to stay in the UFC. Ronda Rousey has been seen all over the last few years. She's been on many Sports Illustrated magazines, multiple TV appearances, Jimmy Kimmel Live, David Letterman, all the Tonight shows you can think of. Last year she was in The Expendables 3, which was directed and produced by Sylvester Stallone. And this year she was featured in Furious 7, which featured Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, and The Rock. And I gotta tell you, Ronda Rousey is one of the busiest women I've ever seen in sports. And that goes to show you, because she is getting challenges from all over the place. She's had challenges from males, other celebrities who've never fought before. But one of the more intriguing matchups or challenges that she's had that would be intriguing to watch is Muhammad Ali's daughter, Layla Ali. Layla is an incredible boxer and has a track record that speaks for herself. And it would be very, very intense to see what would happen between the two. And hopefully a deal can get done with Dana White and the UFC to bring Layla Ali in to fight Ronda Rousey. I have to say that both CM Punk and Ronda Rousey have great futures in mixed martial arts if they stay healthy. Punk obviously has no track record or experience yet, but I believe if he can stay healthy and train hard and stay dedicated, his career in the UFC is going to be much, much longer than Brock Lesnar's was. And as far as Ronda Rousey goes, she is on top of the world. She has nothing in her way and nothing that will stop her. The only thing that's going to stop Ronda Rousey is Ronda Rousey. And I look forward to seeing the futures of both personalities, both fighters, and both careers as they unfold. And, just like I said, stay tuned over the next year to see what Punk does, to see what Rousey does, because there's been a lot of talks between the UFC and the WWE, silently partnering to kind of help one another. So, again, my name is Hollywood Joe, and this is another special presentation of Hollywood's World of Sports. I thank you for tuning in today. God bless, and see you again.